we'll be taking a look at a strategy that you should be exercising on a weekly basis. I know we went over this strategy in several videos in the past, but I do encourage you to pay very close attention to this. Also share this with others, okay? This is a strategy that is guaranteed, that happens on a monthly basis in every state without fail. So I do encourage you to pay very close attention and go back and look at other videos that were done on this strategy so you can start winning more often. Right now, we're looking at the state of Virginia. Virginia is a state with 2 drawings a day, 7 days a week, and this is October 2020, their evening drawing, overall column results. So if you've been with me since the very beginning, or if you've been exploring this channel and checking out a couple of these videos, you already know what this is. The number on the left-hand side represents each and every day for the month of October. The number on the right represents which column that played for that specific day. Now you may refer to columns as the hit sum of the day. I recommend that you wait 13 to 15 days and allow for your state to manifest a pattern. See which column they're playing from the most, see which column they're playing from the least, and see which column is not playing at all. And this will help you minimize those combination selections and also prepare you for bigger hits. So as we look at this, we can see that on the 21st of October, they played from column 4. And on the 22nd, they played from column 8. Okay, a couple of days later, on the 25th, they came back to column 4, okay, for the second time for the month. And look how late they did it in the month. And on the 26th, the 8 column follows. So you see the pattern that happened towards the end of the month, okay? So when column 4 came back on the 25th, the only thing I would have considered would have been column 8, okay? This was the only indication, okay? And then we can see that on the 20th, column 8 played before column 4. So this was surrounding this column, okay? Column 8. So I definitely would have considered this column. So on the 21st, the combination that they played from column 4, I would explore this channel to find the winning combination that was used on column 8 on the 22nd, okay? I would have looked for that strategy, okay? If I wasn't able to find that strategy, the best thing to do is use the date sum strategy, okay? If all else fails, I would consider the date sum strategy. You want to monitor in your state how often the date sum strategy is used. So you can see by these green marks that shows you how many times Virginia used the date sum throughout the month. When they started, which was on the 11th, and the last one they did on the 27th, okay? Now, so on the 22nd, the combination that was played from column 8 was 297. So we can see that with the date of the 22nd, we can see that the date sum was used, okay, on the 22nd in the combination from column 8, okay? October is the 10th month, okay, of the year. So we simply take the month, we add it into whatever date it is, and that gives us our date sum. Whatever number's in the ones position gives us our date sum. So with October being the 10th month, okay, the number falls under 0, okay? So the date sum is every day of that month, okay? If this would have been, let's say November, this would have been a 1 here, and that would have made that 3. 1 plus 2, and 3 would have been the date sum, okay? But in this case, we're in the month of October. So we could see that the date sum was used from column 8, okay, on the 22nd, okay? So that already alone lets us know that we should consider the date sum, okay, for the 26th from column 8, okay, using this date sum strategy. So basically all we would do is take all the combinations from column 8. We know that each column has 22 combinations to choose from, okay? So for column 8, all the combinations with the number 6 in it, you see how many we have. So I definitely would have played, okay, all of these, okay? If I was gonna try another strategy, at least the date sum from this column, those combinations were covered, okay? If I was gonna use another strategy and maybe pick a couple of more numbers, Maybe I thought it could have been a possibility they could come back 10 days. 10 days later to column 6. You know, anything is possible, but I definitely would have considered it the fact that it played, okay, the first time this pattern came. Okay, and sure enough, on the 26th, they played 5, 6, 7. So 6 was the date sum and they used it from column 8. Okay, so this definitely would have been an easy hit, just using the date sum strategy. So I do encourage you to monitor how often they use the date sum in your state or country. Now let's take a look at another one. You have to understand when monitoring the date sum strategy, a lot of times this strategy will happen on the same days of the week. Okay, so right now we're looking at the states of Indiana and Iowa. These two states run off the same lottery system, so whatever combination comes out for one is the same for the other state. Okay, so we're looking at their evening drawing of October 2020 overall column results. So just like with Virginia, you can see the green indicators show you every time they use the date sum, okay, throughout the month. And this is just one drawing, okay? So in their evening drawing, they used it 9 times, okay? When we looked at Virginia on that drawing, that was 10 times, and that was just one drawing for that month. So that's why the date sum strategy, I would definitely watch that on a weekly basis. And if you can watch it on a daily basis, that's even better, okay? So we can see that the date sum was used in patterns. We can see patterns here on the 11th and 12th, the 21st and the 22nd, okay? The 18th and the 19th, okay? And we can see that when they use the date sum strategy, these are the dates, these were the combinations that were played, and these were the columns those combinations came from, okay? So we could see that column 4 was pretty hot throughout the month, okay? Column 4 played 8 times, and out of those 8 times, 4 of those times they used the date sum, okay? And we could see that they did it 3 Sundays, okay, in a row. So those could have been easy hits, okay? Now, I like to say this strategy really comes in handy if you don't see a pattern, okay? Sometimes I receive messages, you know, a lot of people saying they're not seeing patterns, or they don't see what they need to be looking for. The best thing to do is rely on the date sum strategy. See how often it's being used. If you have your overall column results from last month or last year, this also will be a strong indication. If you know that the date sum strategy is a possibility, you see what column is played, you don't really see a pattern for it, you can go back to those overall column results and see what columns follow behind those certain columns you're paying attention to, and pulling out those 5 or 6 combinations from that column using the date sum. At least those are covered, and that's plain smart, okay? So I do encourage you to monitor exactly what your state is doing, watch for the date sum strategy, minimize those combination selections, and prepare for bigger hits. If you found this information useful, I do encourage you to share with others that you know that plays this game. Show them this simple date sum strategy. It really helps. Always remember, it's always better to give than receive. And the more you learn, the more you earn. Take care, everybody.